Yo, I just did a top 5 builds video, but I've been having so much fun with a bunch of builds of Dead by Daylight, so I had to do another top 5 builds video. The last one was top 5 Gabriel Soma builds. This one is just top 5 builds in general. These builds are all incredible. I've been having a lot of fun using these in Dead by Daylight lately, and honestly, they are all pretty damn good. That's literally the best part about this, guys. So let's hop into another episode of top 5 builds in Dead by Daylight. The first build here, guys, I am calling the Resilient one. This is probably one of the more popular builds, and you've probably seen a lot of people running this combination of perks. Resilience gives us 9% extra speed when we're injured towards everything: repairing, vaulting, unhooking, cleansing, blessing, exegates, you name it. When we're injured, we'll do everything 9% quicker. Pretty simple in that regards, but it gets even better because when you combine this perk with Made for This, it's probably one of the sickest perk combos in the game. It just, a lot of it feels really good and really organic. Made for This, when you're injured, Made for This also activates. You'll be running 3% faster. When you finish healing another survivor, you'll get the endurance status effect for 10 seconds. So if you heal someone in those weird clutch moments when the killer's about to come get you guys and you just barely heal them, you can actually just take a hit with Made for This. And that's happened to me more than once. It's pretty good when it happens, but the real reason you want this perk is because you run 3% quicker. So whenever you're injured, guys, you will be running 3% quicker. You'll be doing things 9% faster, also vaulting. So this helps you a lot in chase as well. But it gets even better, guys, because we're using the new Deja Vu. This perk got reworked. Now it does 6% extra bonus speed on the 3 closest generators to each other, and they are revealed to you permanently. This perk doesn't fade away. It used to be 5% and would disappear after 60 seconds, but now it's 6% and it never goes away. The best part about Deja Vu is that it combines with our other perks as well, because with Resilience, when we're injured, working on a Deja Vu gen, we'll be doing them 15% quicker, and it's noticeable, guys. Once you see your bar moving 50% quicker than normal speed, you just can't go back to regular generator repair speeds. I'm sorry. But here's where this build gets really good, guys, and this is where you have some flexibility. There are actually like 4 perks you can use for the 4th slot. There's 4, seriously, and they all work really good depending on what you want to do. The first perk is Hope. Once the exit gates are powered and the gens are done, you get 7% haste status effect. Simple, you will run 7% quicker, but why this is really cool is because it stacks with Made for This. So that way you're running 10% quicker in the end game, which is kind of insane, but also you're vaulting 9% quicker. This is just an absolutely sick perk to use with this build. But another option, guys, instead of Hope, you could actually bring Adrenaline with you. That way you get a free heal once you finish the last gen. So you stay injured, you have Made for This, you have Resilience, you have Deja Vu, you're doing the gens quicker. Once you finish the last gen, you get a free heal, and then you're back in the game. So Adrenaline, sick choice. Hope is a sick choice. If you want to use an exhaustion perk, honestly, guys, Life is making a pretty big comeback. You can use Life. This one, when you take a vault, you'll get a speed boost for 3 seconds, and then you'll be exhausted. The only thing is after you use it, you will turn off Made for This, which kind of sucks, but you can just save it for the last possible moment when you really need to use your exhaustion perk. Life is a very good choice for this build, but the last one, which is also a sick choice for this build, guys, like I'm saying, you have so many options with these 3 perks here. Like, these 3 perks work beautifully together, but the last one is going to be Prove Thyself. Amazing perk. When you work on gens with somebody else, you get a 50% repair speed bonus, and then you get more blood points on top of this, guys. So if you're injured and you're working on a gen and someone else is there with you, you're doing the gen 30% quicker yourself, and your teammate's getting a 50% bonus, 15% bonus as well. So you can shred through gens really quickly when you're injured. So guys, pick whichever perk works best for you. All of them are amazing choices, and honestly, I cycle between all of them all the time. The Resilient one, guys, have some fun with this build. Let's hop into build number 2. Guys, build number 2 is absolutely disgusting. It's the Scavenger build. I did top feature it in my Gabriel Soma video, but I have made one change to it, and this change makes this build that much better. So with this build, you want to bring a toolbox. Commodious toolbox is probably the best, but Engineer's toolbox will be fine as well. Wire spools, scraps, you can even use some of these socket swivels if you'd like, but you want to bring Scavenger with you. What Scavenger does is it activates once your toolbox is empty. So then you have to do 5 great skill checks. Each one will get you a token. Once you get 5, your charges are fully refunded to you, but you have a penalty to gen repair speed for 30 seconds. So in a perfect scenario, you could still work on the gen, you just do it a lot slower, but you want to just go heal a teammate, unhook a teammate, go be productive since you're penalized for 30 seconds. But the point is you have your toolbox back. and you can usually use your toolbox at least 2 times per game with this setup. Now, another thing this perk does, you can rummage through a chest to get a basic toolbox. Sometimes that might be applicable or something you want to do, just an option for you. But where this build gets sick is because it really digs deep with the concept of great skill checks. As we see, great skill checks will get us our toolbox back once we're done with the toolbox. So we want to start the match, we want to run into gen, we want to dump this toolbox in a gen, and then we want to start having some fun. So Scavenger, great skill checks, but also Fogwise, guys. Every time you hit a great skill check, you see the killer's aura for 6 seconds, as long as it's not a stealth killer. This perk is seriously slept on. I don't see anybody using it, but since I've been using it, it's so freaking good. Like, you're never looking over your shoulder. You're never wondering where the killer's at. 6 seconds is a long time. You can see where the killer's at, what the killer's doing, where the chase is at. Sometimes you'll hear the terror radius, and then you don't know if you need to get off the gen or not, but then you hit a great skill check. Oh, Fogwise, look, the killer is not even coming towards me. The killer's actually not even close to me. If it's like a Wesker or something with a huge terror radius, like it just makes you that much more productive, always keeping tabs on the killer. And you're gonna get a lot of great skill checks with this build anyways, because 1, they're not too hard to hit, but 2, the rest of this build is gonna make it easier for us to hit them. Stakeout. Every 15 seconds in the killer's terror radius, we get a token. Up to 4. Each of these tokens will convert a good skill check to a great skill check. You see what I'm saying? Great skill check is getting us killer vision. It's getting us our scavenger charges. Also, we get a 1% bonus to repair speed progress with stakeout as well. And this also even applies to healing your teammates, guys. You'll get great skill checks instead of good skill checks, which means you'll heal them a little bit quicker. But the real reason we want this is to get the great skill checks while we're working on the generators, because dudes, it's good, and it guarantees you 4 great skill checks. And then the last perk brings this build home, hyper focus. Guys, once you hit a great skill check, you will get a token, up to 6 tokens. Each of these tokens will, 1, increase your chances of getting skill checks by 4%, which we want. 2, the skill check speed will be 4% quicker, which makes it a little harder to hit, but not the end of the world. But then the last thing is that it'll increase the skill check bonus by 30% of its base value per each consecutive skill check. So the more great skill checks you hit back to back, the more bonus you get done on generators. So guys, we have this sick build to where we're getting guaranteed great skill checks. The more skill checks we get back to back, the more gen progress we get, the more killer vision we get, pretty much permanent killer vision with Fogwise, it feels like. And then you get your toolbox back so you can just repeat the process again. And also, when you repair gens with the toolbox, you do get skill checks prompted more quickly because the speed of the toolbox makes you get skill checks quicker. So you shred through the gens so quick with this build. It's insane. Like, dump the toolbox, get your charges back, and the second time you're dumping the toolbox, you probably have 4 stacks of stakeout anyway. So you're dumping the toolbox and getting 4 stacks of hyper focus. Dude, this build is nuts. Use it. Use it before it gets nerfed. Like, seriously, this build is great. Why aren't people using this build? Build number 3, guys. It's a classic, but a goodie. This one is just more of like a well-rounded build for you. It doesn't do anything over the top. Actually, it does do some over the top stuff. It lets you unhook really quickly, which is really fun. So with this, you want to bring a med kit, use gel dressings and a bandage to get 2 extra charges. So that way you can heal yourself twice. Now, med kits got nerfed and heal you 33% slower than they normally did, but that's where Desperate Measures comes into effect. Our first perk, every injured, dying hook survivor increases our healing and unhooking speeds by 14%, up to a maximum of 56%, I believe. It's 56 or 58, can't do math right now. But this stacks with your medkits, so when we use our medkit, we'll heal ourselves quicker. So this is just a solid perk to have all around. You heal people quicker, you unhook people quicker. This perk gets really good in the end game when you combine it with No One Left Behind. Once the gens are powered, a couple things happen. You'll get extra blood points for healing and unhooking survivors. You get a 50% bonus speed to healing and unhooking other survivors. So your unhooking speed in the end game, ridiculously quick. Your healing speed in the end game is ridiculously good. When you unhook somebody, they'll get a 7% movement bonus for 10 seconds as well. And they're probably running made for this anyway, so they're going to be cracked out of their freaking minds. And you see all survivors' auras in the end game, so you can make sure you body block for your teammates, heal your teammates up, find someone to heal you. You name it. No One Left Behind is a pretty sick perk that not a lot of people have used since it got changed. Sprint Burst feels like the exhaustion perk of choice to use with this build. Pretty simple, takes some getting used to learn how to 99 it, but when you run 150% quicker. This will help us in chase. And then the last perk is Deja Vu yet again, because this perk just aligns with us wanting to stay focused on preventing ourselves from getting 3-gened, but also getting to the end game. Like I said earlier, 6% extra speed, doesn't go away. And if you're always doing the deja vu gens, the last 3 gens will be really nicely split apart. So this just takes the guesswork out of it for you. You don't have to worry about where the gens are at. You don't have to worry about getting 3 gen on accident. If you're doing deja vu gens, you're being productive and you're going to prevent yourself a lot of trouble in the end game. Let's hop into build number 4. All right, guys, build number 4, we've got another amazing, well-rounded build for you. With this one, I like to bring a flashlight with me. It's usually when I'm playing a little more aggressive, and these perks will single-handedly, honestly, can help you carry games quite easily. First perk is Life, exhaustion perk of choice for this build. When we take a fast vault, we will run faster for 3 seconds, kind of similar to Sprint Burst, but just a different way of doing it. We bring Improve Thyself. This will help us do gens quicker when we're working on them with teammates. We discussed this perk in a previous on the previous build, so I'm not going to go too in depth in it here. But Prove Thyself is just a great perk to help you get the objective done quicker. It's never a bad choice to bring this with you. So we've got an exhaustion perk for helping us out in chase. We've got a gen perk to help us get these gens done quicker. We've got a healing perk. We'll make it. Incredibly good healing perk, guys. When you unhook a survivor, you get a 100% healing speed boost for 90 seconds, meaning you can heal someone in 8 freaking seconds. That's them being healed before the built-in borrowed time goes away, by the way, so you can heal them at the hook, and it's not even to be an issue. If the killer comes back, they still have built-in BT, or you finish healing them on the spot. And then the last perk, Iron Will. Iron Will has been slept on a lot. It's still really good. Numbs your grunts of pain by 75%, so when you're in chase and you get injured, you're going to be a lot quieter. And when you're quieter, if you break line of sight, it is harder for the killer to track you. You could combine this, like I said, with We'll Make It. Not We'll Make It, Made for this, as we discussed earlier. That's another build. I'm not going to get into it just right now. But Iron Will really rounds us out well because you're injured, you're quieter, you're healing your teammates quicker, you're doing your gen quicker, and you have an exhaustion perk. And after you use life, you will lose your Iron Will because you will be exhausted, but that's fine. And we're aware of that. This is just a really good, well-rounded build, guys. And if you don't want to use Iron Will, you can use Made for this. You can use some of the other perks we talked about. You can bring a toolbox, bring Scavenger. It really doesn't matter what the 4th perk is. Have fun with it. This is your build, guys. This is what the way I like to use it. And I bring Iron Will because, like I said, we're bringing the flashlight with us. So if I'm injured, I can still try and get a sneaky flashlight save because I won't be that obvious as in giving away my position, which is why I have Iron Will with this build anyways. And let's move into the final build, my friends. All right, guys, the final build on the list is the Try Hard build, guys. This is just a mix of 4 really solid perks that are actually pretty damn good. First of all, we have Adrenaline, which once the last gen is done, we'll get a free health state in the end game, as well as be able to run 150% quicker for 5 seconds. It's never a bad idea to not have Adrenaline, but we're actually bringing Dead Hard with us. It's nerfed. People don't really expect it. It only activates when you get unhooked, but that's 2 Dead Hards per game, and usually 1 guaranteed at least, because killers are not really expecting Dead Hard anymore, and that's why I like it in this build, because even if you don't use it and you save until the end game, you can do crazy things. You can take body blocks, you can take a hit, you can take a Dead Hard hit, you can plan it to where you take a hit before the last gen pops, since the new HUD got changed, so you can see when the gen's about to pop, and you can see when your adrenaline's gonna go off. But we also have Unbreakable, guys. Recover from the dying state 35% quicker, and we can recover once per trial. So we can take body blocks, we can take hits in the end game, we can play aggressive, we can be a little sloppy because we have a lot of ways to get back in the fight. We got Unbreakable, we got Dead Hard, we got Adrenaline. But the last perk is another one that people don't really use, but I think it's really great when you use it with Unbreakable. Tenacity lets you crawl 50% faster and recover at the same time. Also, your grunts of pains while you're slugged will be reduced by 75%. So this gives you a chance to actually get away if the killer leaves you on the ground for a little bit. You can crawl away. He'll have a hard time hearing you with Tenacity, but you'll also recover at the same time, so you can maybe make it to a pallet, go somewhere in a corner, crawl to one of your teammates, get 99 on your health and let your teammate pick you up. Tenacity just feels like a must. Like, you don't need to use it with Unbreakable. Unbreakable is still fine on its own, but it feels really good to have Tenacity with Unbreakable. And that's it, guys. The Try Hard build. My top 5 builds for you guys to try out right now in Dead by Daylight. All of these builds are a damn good time. Yeah. Hey, you made it to the end of this video. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this content. Comment down below. Let me know which build you're going to try out. And also subscribe to the family if you're not already part of the family. Like, what are you doing, guys? What are you doing? You made it to the end here. Come on. I love you. Join the family. Subscribe. I'll see you on the next one, guys. I'm out. Bye.